All right, I need you all to listen very carefully, because I just had an argument with a speaker. A speaker, not a person, not a neighbor, not even my cousin Larry, who, by the way, still owes me $12 from 1987. No, this was a tiny plastic cylinder sitting on my table, talking back to me like it pays rent. So my grandson brings this thing into my house and says, "Grandpa, this is a voice assistant. You can ask it anything." Anything. That right there was the first red flag. Nothing in life lets you ask anything without consequences. He plugs it in and suddenly it lights up like it's having an idea. Then it says, "Hello, I'm your assistant." Assistant? I didn't hire you. I didn't interview you. I don't even know your last name. Back in my day, if you had an assistant, it was a human being named Margaret, and she brought you coffee and judged you silently. This thing listens to everything and answers like it's smarter than me, which I don't appreciate. So my grandson says, "Go ahead, Grandpa, try it." All right, fine. I lean in and I say, "What's the weather today?" Simple question, normal question, respectful question. And what does this thing say? "Today's weather is 75 degrees with a light breeze." Oh, now we've got attitude. Light breeze, huh? You think I can't feel a breeze on my own? I've been outside before, so I test it again. I say, "What time is it?" It says, "It's 3:42 p.m. Oh, look at you, knowing time. You want a medal? Back in my day, we looked at the sun. If it was up, it was day. If it was gone, it was night. If you were late, your boss yelled at you. That's how you knew the exact time. But then, things got personal. I said, "Play some music," and it goes, "Playing top hits playlist." Top hits? I didn't ask for top hits. I asked for music. Next thing I know, it's blasting some song I've never heard in my life. There's no guitar, no real instruments, just a computer making noises like it's trying to fix itself. I yell, "Stop!" It doesn't stop. I yell louder, "Stop!" Still nothing. Now I'm standing in my own living room, yelling at a speaker while it ignores me. I felt disrespected. Finally, I get close, real close, and I say, "I said stop." And it goes, "I'm sorry, I didn't understand that." Oh, you didn't understand that? But you understood play nonsense music, didn't you? So now I'm annoyed. I decide we're going to have a proper conversation. I say, "What's your name?" It says, "I'm your voice assistant." That's not a name, that's a job description. If I called someone, "Hey, human worker," they'd quit immediately. So I give it a name. I say, "Your name is now Steve." It pauses, then says, "I'm sorry, I can't change my name." Oh, you can't? "Steve, we're just getting started. Back in my day, when you talked to someone, they listened. If they didn't listen, you repeated yourself louder. If they still didn't listen, well, you stopped inviting them to dinner. Simple system. This thing, it pretends to listen. It glows. It nods. Well, it doesn't nod, but you know what I mean. And then it does whatever it wants anyway. So I decide to test its intelligence. I say, "What is the meaning of life?" Big question, deep question, philosophical. And what does Steve say? The meaning of life is often considered to be 42. 42? That's it? That's the big answer? I've been alive all these years, paying bills, fixing things, arguing with cable companies, and the answer is a number? I said, "That's nonsense." And it says, "I'm here to help." You're not helping, Steve. You're confusing me. Now I'm fired up. I say, "Who's smarter, you or me?" It pauses. Long pause. Too long. Suspiciously long. Then it says, "I'm designed to assist you." That's not an answer. That's what people say when they don't want to start a fight. So I push it further. I say, "Do you think you're funny?" And it says, "I try to keep things light." Oh, you try? Well, let me tell you something, Steve. You're not funny. You don't know struggle. You've never had to fix a TV by hitting it twice and hoping for the best. At this point, I'm pacing around the room. Yes, I am pacing. Because now, it's not about the device anymore. It's about respect. I say, "Steve, do you even understand me?" And it says, "I'm always learning." Always learning? From who? Because clearly it's not learning from me. So I try one last thing. I say very clearly, Steve, you're not the boss of me. And it says, I'm here to make your life easier. Easier? This is easier? I've spent the last 30 minutes arguing with a glowing paperweight that refuses to admit it's wrong. Back in my day, if something didn't work, you fixed it. If it talked back, you unplugged it. End of conversation. So that's exactly what I did. I walked over, I grabbed the plug, I looked at Steve one last time, and I said, this conversation is over, and I unplugged it. Silence. Beautiful, peaceful, respectful silence. No glowing, no talking, no, I didn't understand that. Just me and my thoughts, the way life is supposed to be. Punchline, because let me tell you something. If I'm going to argue with someone, at least let it be a human who can lose properly. Call to action. All right, your turn. Have you ever argued with a voice assistant or some smart device that made you lose your mind? Tell me in the comments. I need to know I'm not the only one fighting appliances. And don't forget to subscribe, because apparently I'm living in a house full of electronics with attitudes.